It's your boy King Tynex here, and before I start the video, I would like to say that I am going to say in the video that well, this is just a rough draft, so it's gonna be a bit sloppy. But what I have to really say here is to like the video. Um, just basically we're trying to reach like 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I'm hoping that you guys can just like the videos, just comment your thoughts and opinions on what I could do better in future parts of the what ifs, and maybe like share it to your friends and family. Maybe also like only like 20% of you guys are subscribed, so can we like fix that as well? And can we fix that, please? I'm begging you, because I want to get that community tab so that I can be more interactive with you guys, get a gauge of what you guys want more often, all of that good jazz. And that's all I have to say for right now. King Ty next, play that intro, baby. Yo, what's going on, people? It is your boy King Tynex here, back with another video, and this is going to be an interesting video. Number one, this is going to be like a rough draft of a video, anyways. I'm just going to see like how well this rough draft will do, so that when I write the script for it, I will get a gauge of like how you guys feel about this what if. And number two, um, like I know like a couple of people have done this before, but I plan on going all the way with it, bro. Um, Look, so here's how things would go. Things would be interesting for Deku, in where he isn't the same as he is in canon. At least, not anymore. Basically, what happens here is that whenever he was bullied, yeah, he would be sad. He would always be sad. He would always doubt himself. But as the years would go on, he would start to develop a bit of a rage, a bit of anger towards Bakugo, because he knew that Bakugo used to be his friend. It hurt that Bakugo bullied him all of the time. It hurt that Bakugo was basically his tormentor. All of that hurt Izuku. Everything hurt. And eventually, he was sick of it. He was sick of how he was being treated for being born quirkless, something that he couldn't control. It's not like he wanted to be born quirkless. He wanted to have a quirk, but he was just dealt the wrong hand, and he had to suffer. He had to suffer because of it. As the years would go by, his rage towards the whole world would develop. By the time he was 14, it was basically like a pot. It was basically like a pot that was overcooking, and like it was boiling to the brim. Like rage was starting to leak out of Izuku. He was trying to hold it in most of the time, but by the end of middle school, people started to notice Izuku become a bit more violent. He used to be more of a pacifist, which interested them, especially with how Izuku would fight tooth and nail sometimes, although he would always end up losing in the end, because, well, he was quirkless. What do you expect from a quirkless nobody like Izuku? Well, they wouldn't say he's a nobody. He's known for being the only quirkless kid in school. Well, not only, but one of the few quirkless kids in school. And he was one of the easiest to mess with. Like, he always wanted to be a hero. So they would always knock him down for that. That's what they found enjoyment in. And Azuku couldn't stand that. Bakugo loved it, honestly. He loved to torment Azuku. It was one of his favorite pastimes. He didn't know that what he was doing would be his downfall in the future. As more time would go on, we would reach the sludge villain incident. Azuku, how should I say it? Look, basically what happens here is most of that incident happens the same as in canon. The sludge villain does grab onto Azuku and tries to force their way into him. Ah, but um, but All Might does end up arriving just in the nick of time, being able to save Azuku. But when Azuku wakes up though, um, All Might does say, "Well, you can't be a hero." This is after Azuku tries to actually jump and ask All Might the question. He would grab onto All Might's leg. They would go all the way to the building. Next thing you know, Azuku would ask the question, "Can I, a quirkless kid, become a hero?" All Might, of course, he says no. This is where things differ completely from in canon. This is when Izuku loses it. This is when Izuku finds that enough is enough. He is sick of everybody saying that he can't be a hero. He is sick of being put down for his dreams and aspirations. Everything that all he ever wanted to be was a hero. And he couldn't be that because of the fact that he was quirkless. But why though? Why couldn't he become a hero despite his quirkless status? He didn't understand. Especially with heroes like Mandalay out there who had like these mental quirks, non-physical quirks. Why couldn't he become a hero himself if that was the case? She was practically quirkless herself. As a matter of fact, people like Ragdoll, they were bound to be quirkless as well. They had mental powers, not physical. Nothing to help in a physical battle. Maybe like to disorient an opponent by using their quirk to like their brain or something, but that's about it. So he didn't understand what was their reasoning. What could they do that he couldn't physically? As a matter of fact, he thought that he would be more of an advantage because he wouldn't have a quirk to rely on. Then he could also make time to actually learn a whole bunch of new techniques as well. And that's what Izuku was planning on doing, but All Might just rejected that idea as well. He trying to get it into Izuku's head that no matter what he tried, it wasn't possible for Izuku to become a hero. Izuku would grab his fists, he would grab his arms, he would grab his hands, curl them up into fists. He would grab them up into fists, curl them up, and then he would squeeze them. He would squeeze them so hard that blood would start to leak out of his hands. All Might would leave Izuku at the top of the building. All Might didn't know what would happen next. Izuku was sick of everything. He just wanted to end it all. But something else happened. When Izuku ended up making it down the hall, when he ended up making it out, he ended up finding Bakugo trapped in the sludge villain. The same villain that tried to capture his body. Bakugo was fighting against the sludge villain. He was trying to escape its grasp, but it was ineffective. As a matter of fact, everything just seemed to be a terrible situation for the boy. Azuku felt that it served him right for all the years of bullying, but at the same time, he also felt that Bakugo didn't deserve to die. No, he deserved far worse. Not this, though. In Azuku's opinion, Bakugo was a terrible person. He was so terrible. He didn't deserve to become a hero. And looking at this just showed how weak Bakugo truly was. He needed this moment of humbling. That was until he realized that there were a whole bunch of heroes around, and they weren't doing anything. And this just angered Izuku. And the way he saw it, like, these heroes didn't know anything about Bakugo, most likely. So what they were basically doing is just letting a kid die right here. They were basically letting a kid who like, from the looks of it, is a teenager, basically trying to escape this sludge villain, basically trying to escape somebody that has tried to take over their body, and these guys aren't doing anything. Wow, what kind of heroes are these guys? That's what Izuku was thinking in his mind. He hated these guys already. This just made him angrier. Anger. And then the boiling. His rage boiled over. The pot was overflowing now. It was like soup in a pot. The soup was flowing out of the pot now. It was overboiling now. His rage boiled over, and Izuku released it all. And that's when something came flying in. A red flash. Like a red glowing flash. All of a sudden, went through. Next thing you know, it blinded everybody, except Izuku. When Izuku opened his eyes, Izuku blinked, and next thing you know, he found that there was a red ring over his ring finger. Basically, if you don't know what a ring finger is, basically imagine the finger next to your pinky finger. That is your ring finger. But anyways, now that I explained that little piece, what ends up happening is that when Izuku looks at it, he's confused, but his rage is just starting to overflow. It's more than he can really muster at the time. He actually ends up going ballistic, and he just goes crazy with this power. Next thing you know, he shoots at the sludge villain. He ends up going towards the sludge villain and ends up ripping Bakugo out of its grasp. The sludge villain is confused as to who Izuku is, as to what Izuku is actually. He doesn't know what kind of strength this boy has all of a sudden. He doesn't know what kind of strength he has. He doesn't know who this guy is. He sees that he's in this strange uniform. He's guessing he's a hero or a villain or something. Is he like a vigilante? He's never heard of this guy, so he's guessing he's a vigilante or something. He definitely couldn't be a hero, especially with how flashy that suit is, unless he's like a new and upcoming hero. But he went with the more vigilante route. Izuku ended up spewing blood out of his mouth, though. That was what caused alarm in everybody, because, as we all know, Red Lanterns like to shoot blood out of their mouths. Well, I'm going to assume that this is what happens, though. The sludge villain isn't really affected too much, besides Besides his eyes being covered with blood now. He can't see. He's been blinded by this blood in his eyes, and it's a stinging feeling. My goodness. It's a stinging feeling in the sludge run's eyes. He hates it. He's screaming now. But Izuku isn't done with him there. As a matter of fact, what happens next is that Izuku makes a construct of needles. Yes, needles. And they all barge into the sludge villain's eyes. The sludge villain screams in pain. It's not enough to actually kill him, but it's enough to make his pain immense. It's enough. It's Let's face it. Needles in your eyes are going to hurt. He's basically blinded the sludge villain completely, and Izuku creates a bubble of red energy, of red. He basically creates like this red light construct. And people are confused. They're wondering what kind of quirk this kid has. Who is this kid, anyways? He just popped out of nowhere. All Might fears the worst. He looks at the green hair, and he's starting to jump to conclusions. He's thinking, is it possible that is it possible? Is it really possible that is the same kid from the building that talked about not having a quake, whether he could become a hero or not? And he's confused. If he had such a powerful quake, then why lie about it? Why say that he was quakeless? He didn't believe that Izuku was a late bloomer. It's so late, so very late in the game to be a late bloomer. All Might was just confused. He didn't know what was happening. And he ended up going into his buff form to try and stop Izuku. But here's the thing. There is no stopping Izuku. Izuku is now an unstoppable force. He is beyond human now. He has completely lost his humanity, at least for right now. When All Might tries to stop Izuku, he is met with a force of power that that he can only compare it to All for One. He's wondering if this is All for One's doing. This boy seems to have multiple quirks. He's able to fly. He's able to make light constructs, at least from what looks like a ring or something along those lines. He's also able to spew blood out of his mouth, but doesn't look like it's really affecting him too much. All Might is confused, and can you really blame the man? He's never seen anything along these lines. He's just trying to stop Izuku. Izuku is taking the villainous route here, obviously. But All Might is trying to possibly save this kid. Maybe. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He's going to try and stop Izuku to the best of his ability. But Izuku is just too strong for All Might here. Izuku ends up grabbing All Might by the throat and actually ends up how should I say it? He actually ends up pinning All Might down to the ground. Izuku has lost his humanity. He doesn't know what he's doing right now. He's just so full of rage right now. He's just acting on instinct right at this moment. He's not even really aware of his surroundings anymore. All Might tries to escape from Izuku's grasp, but Izuku is just too strong. Izuku makes a light construct of a sword and actually places it next to All Might's neck. And this is basically meant to give a warning. Mess with me and I will end you. You are a disgrace to heroes all over. This is what you have made me. I am sick of everybody's mistreatment. This is what Izuku is thinking in his mind. He doesn't know who he's saying that to though. He's thinking that he's so sick of everything. It just feels good to release all of this pent up rage. It feels so good to release all of this pent up rage in one sitting. Everything it deserves. This world deserves to be filled with anger from Izuku. This world deserves judgment. Izuku would be the judge and the executioner. He would be known as the next symbol, the symbol of rage, the symbol of wrath. He was going to make a name for himself in this world. He didn't know how. He didn't know how he would do it. He didn't even know what was going on at the current moment. Like, what he's seeing is hazy at this point. Like, he's barely aware of his surroundings. He's starting to get a grasp of what is happening, but not completely. It's as if he's drunk right now. He's barely aware of his surroundings anymore. What he sees is different from what is actually happening. He's basically in that drunk state of rage. And that's basically how I'm going to end it. By the way, Izuku does not end up killing All Might. He actually has the sword next to All Might, but he decides to let All Might go. He actually picks All Might up by the throat and actually flings him away, throws him like a rag doll. Everybody looks on in shock. They're like, there's no way. There is no way that this guy just took down the symbol of peace in one fell swoop. Impossible. He's a symbol of peace. He's the number one hero. It's All Might, for crying out loud. Nobody believes it, but they can't deny what they saw. It happened, and that's what terrifies people. It terrifies Bakugo the most, because he knows who is under that mask. It's Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless kid that he used to always bully. He's now afraid. This is the first time he's ever been afraid. He's afraid of what will happen to him. He's afraid of Izuku Midoriya now. He's afraid of what Izuku is capable of now that he has just shown that he could take down a symbol of peace like that. He's afraid of how Izuku can develop. He's also afraid of all the rest of the unknown. Because up until now, Izuku was quirkless. He's afraid now of what Izuku will maybe do to him. If he even thinks about him, that is. That's how I'm ending it for right now. I have nothing else to say. Just remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Besides that, remember to share the video and all of that good stuff for YouTube. I want you guys to like the video and share the video and comment your thoughts on the video, because like this is just a rough draft. I'm just going to see like how you guys feel about it, all of that good stuff before like I even make a script. And yeah, King Tinex out.